Book of Sirach. Chapter 36. Have mercy upon us, O Yahuwah Elohim of all, and behold us. And send your fear upon all the nations that seek not after you. Lift up your hand against the strange nations, and let them see your power. As you was purified in us before them, so be you magnified among them before us. And let them know you, as we have known you, that there is no Elohim but only you, O Al. Show new signs, and make other strange wonders. Magnify your hand and your right arm, that they may set forth your wondrous works. Raise up indignation, and pour out wrath, take away the adversary, and destroy the enemy. Hasten the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare your wonderful works. Let him that escape be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say, there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit you them, as from the beginning. O Yahuwah, have mercy upon the people that is called by your name, and upon Yashar'al whom you have named your firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, your set-apart city, the place of your rest. Fill Zion with your unspeakable oracles, and your people with your splendor. Give testimony unto those that you have possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in your name. Reward them that wait for you, and let your prophets be found faithful. O Yahuwah, hear the prayer of your servants, according to the blessing of Aaron over your people. That all they which dwell upon the earth may know that you are Yahuwah, the eternal Elohim. The belly devours all meats, yet is one meat better than another. As the palate tastes divers kinds of venison, so does an heart of understanding false speeches. A froward heart causes heaviness, but a man of experience will recompense him. A woman will receive every man, yet is one daughter better than another. The beauty of a woman cheers the countenance, and a man loves nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. He that gets a wife begin a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. Who will trust a thief well appointed that skips from city to city? So who will believe a man that have no house, and lodges wheresoever the night takes him? Chapter 37. Every friend said, I am his friend also, but there is a friend, which is only a friend in name. Is it not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy? O wicked imagination, why were you formed to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion, which rejoices in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him. There is a companion, which helps his friend for the belly, and takes up the buckler against the enemy. Forget not your friend in your mind, and be not unmindful of him in your riches. Every counselor extol counsel, but there is some that counsel for their own interest. Beware of a counselor, and know first what is his interest, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast a lot against you. And say unto you, your way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side, to see what shall befall you. Consult not with one that regards you with suspicion, and hide your counsel from such as envy you. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war. Nor with a merchant concerning exchange. Nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness. Nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with the slothful for any work. Nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. But be continually with a righteous man whom you know to keep the commandments of Yahuwah, whose mind is according to your mind, and will sorrow with you, if you shall miscarry. And let the counsel of your own heart stand. For there is no man more faithful unto you than it. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in an high tower. And above all this pray to the Most High that he will direct your way in truth. Let reason go before every enter, and counsel before every action. The countenance is a sign of changing of the heart. 4 manner of things appear, good and evil, life and death, but the tongue rules over them continually. There is one that is wise and teaches many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. There is one that shows wisdom in words, and is hated, he shall be destitute of all food. For favor is not given him from Yahuwah, because he is deprived of all wisdom. Another is wise to himself, and the fruits of understanding are commendable in his mouth. A wise man instructs his people, and the fruits of his understanding fail not. A wise man shall be filled with blessing, and all they that see him shall count him happy. The days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Yashar'al are innumerable. A wise man shall inherit splendor among his people, and his name shall live forever. My son, prove your soul in your life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. For excess of meats brings sickness, and gluttony will turn into choler. By gluttony have many perished, but he that takes heed prolongs his life. Chapter 38. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which you may have of him, for Yahuwah hath created him. For of the Most High comes healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. Yahuwah hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And he hath given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. With such do physician heal men, and takes away their pains. Of such do the physician make a mixture, and of Elohim's works there is no end, and from him is peace over all the earth. My son, in your sickness be not negligent, but pray unto Yahuwah, and he will make you whole. Leave off from sin, and order your hands aright, and cleanse your heart from all wickedness. Give a sweet savor, and a memorial of fine flour, and make a fat offering, as much as you can afford. Then give place to the physician, for Yahuwah hath created him. Let him not go from you, for you have need of him. There is a time when in their hands there is good success. For they shall also pray unto Yahuwah, that he would prosper that which they give for ease and remedy to prolong life. He that sins before his Maker, let him fall into the hand of the physician. My son, let tares fall down over the dead, and begin to lament, as if you had suffered great harm yourself. And then cover his body according to the custom, and neglect not his burial. Weep bitterly, and make great moan, and use lamentation, as he is worthy, and that a day or two, lest you be evil spoken of, and then comfort yourself for your heaviness. For of heaviness comes death, and the heaviness of the heart breaks strength. In affliction also sorrow remains, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart. Take no heaviness to heart, drive it away, and remember your own end. Forget it not, for there is no turning again. You shall not do him good, but hurt yourself. Remember my judgment, for yours also shall be so, yesterday for me, and today for you. When the dead is at rest, let his remembrance rest, and be comforted for him when his spirit is departed from him. The wisdom of a learned man comes by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holds the plow, and that is steamed in the goad that drives oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks? He gives his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kind fodder. So every carpenter and workmaster that labor night and day, and they that cut and grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves to counterfeit image, and they are careful to finish their work. The smith also sitting by the anvil, and considering the iron work, the vapor of the fire wastes his flesh, and he fights with the heat of the furnace. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he makes. He sets his mind to finish his work, and watch to polish it perfectly. So do the potter sitting at his work, and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully set at his work, and makes all his work by number. He fashions the clay with his arm, and bows down his strength before his feet. He applies himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and every one is wise in his work. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken. But they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. Chapter 39. But he that gives his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men. And where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the hidden meanings of proverbs, and be conversant in dark parables. He shall serve among great men, and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he hath tried the good, and the evil among men. He will give his heart to resort early to Yahuwah that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer, and make supplication for his sins. When the great Yahuwah will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences, and give thanks unto Yahuwah in his prayer. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secrets shall he meditate. He shall show forth that which he hath learned, and shall esteem in the law of the covenant of Yahuwah. Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endures, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. Nations shall show forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. If he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000, and if he live, he shall increase it. Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon, for I am filled as the moon at the full. Hearken unto me, you set apart children, and bud forth as a rose growing by the brook of the field. And give you a sweet savor as frankincense, and flourish as a lily. Send forth a smell and sing a song of praise. Bless Yahuwah in all his works. Magnify his name, and show forth his praise with the songs of your lips, and with harps, and in praising him you shall say after this manner. All the works of Yahuwah are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commands shall be accomplished in due season. And none may say, What is this? Wherefore is that? For at time convenient, they shall all be sought out. At his commandment the waters stood as an heap, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of waters. At his commandment is done whatsoever pleases him, and none can hinder when he will save. The works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes. He sees from everlasting to everlasting, and there is nothing too wonderful for him. A man need not to say, What is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. His blessing covered the dry land as a river, and watered it as a flood. As he hath turned the waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. As his ways are plain unto the set apart, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the righteous. So to the sinners they are turned into evil. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Therefore from the beginning, I was resolved, and thought upon these things, and have left them in writing. All the works of Yahuwah are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. So that a man cannot say this is worse than that, for in time they shall all be well approved. And therefore praise you Yahuwah with all your heart and mouth, and bless the name of Yahuwah. Chapter 40. Great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam from the day that they go out of their mother's womb, till the day that they return to the mother of all things. Their imagination of things to come and the day of death trouble their thoughts, and cause fear of heart. From him that sits on a throne of esteem unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes. From him that wears purple and a crown, unto him that is clothed with a linen frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed his night sleep, do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awake, and marvel that the fear was nothing. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Death, and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. All things that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again, and that which is of the waters do return into the sea. All bribery and injustice shall be blotted out, but true dealing shall endure forever. The goods of the unjust shall be dried up like a river, and shall vanish with noise, like a great thunder and rain. As a generous person opens his hand shall rejoice, so shall transgressors come to naught. The children of the unrighteous shall not bring forth many branches, but are as unclean roots upon a hard rock. The weed growing upon every water and bank of a river shall be pulled up before all grass. Bountifulness is as a most fruitful garden, and mercifulness endures forever. To labor, and to be content with that a man have, is a sweet life, but he that finds a treasure is above them both. Children and the building of a city continue a man's name, but a blameless wife is counted above them both. Wine and music rejoice the heart, but the love of wisdom is above them both. The pipe and the harp make sweet melody, but a pleasant tongue is above them both. Your eye desires favor and beauty, but more than both corn while it is green. A friend and companion never meet amiss, but above both is a wife with her husband. Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of Yahuwah is above them both. There is no want in the fear of Yahuwah, and it needs not to seek help. The fear of Yahuwah is a fruitful garden, and covers him above all splendor. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. The life of him that depends on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he pollutes himself with other men's meat, but a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire.